channel, welcome back to the channel, welcome back. Well, not back because it's the first time we're doing it. Well, welcome back to Pokemon Thursday, but welcome to a video that I've been so excited to do, and it's the Pokemon Scarlet and Scarlet and fucking Violet game review. Scarlet and fucking Violet. And there's so much to talk about these games. I've given this review a couple of weeks so I upload it so people can play it. Some people can go get it because I will be spoiler heavy to a degree. I was looking like an insane scientist. I've been saying it for months. I need a haircut. It's just not come about because I'm lazy as fuck. There's a lot, and in fact, I'm in the middle of watching J-Rose take on, at the time of recording, take on fucking Pokemon. I can't remember which one he played. With Just a Fuecoco. I love J-Rose. That guy's a fucking beast. He makes my life. Sorry, J-Rose, we're not here to talk about you. We're here to talk about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and this game has been hitting so many different directions. So people talking about all kinds of crazy stuff, you know, with the graphics, the gameplay, the story, the big, massive, long intro. So I'm going to shut the fuck up and not shut the fuck up and just jump straight into the review. Like I said, heavy spoilers, okay? So remember that. A lot of spoilers at least. Fuck that. Big, fat, massive backflip. Turn around, grab my... wet the palate a bit because I'm about to ramble to fuck. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'm going to give you my score and my ranking, and what I thought of it straight away is I absolutely adored it. Pretty much most aspects I absolutely adored. I'm going to give it a solid 9 out of 10. I'll give you the reason why it's only a 9 out of 10, and I'm usually optimistic Dan in a little bit of a sec. And as well, this game has been very what the fuck's the word? The one where it's like controversial. That's the word. Because right, okay, I understand, right? Pokemon is fantastic because it has a great and amazing fan base, and we all like our different Pokemon. You know, I love Gen 5. Oh, I love Gen 3. Gen 1's still the best generation for me. Oh, this game was the best. That game was the best. I loved Arceus. I didn't love Arceus. We are so diverse in our opinions about how we want our Pokemon games. So no one is really wrong. If you hated this game, then you're right because it's your Pokemon experience and your Pokemon journey and you want it to be how you want it to be. So nobody's wrong. We've all got our different thoughts and opinions. Let's just get a nice fun conversation going about Scarlet and Violet, whether you're for, against, in the middle, whatever it may be. So, but I am going to be mostly optimistic in this. Because I am optimistic, Dan, about most things in life, but also I'm just a massive man-child that just loves this franchise. Tackle the biggest talking point as the dog digs up my pillows for some reason is the graphics. A lot of people hated the fact that we had weird glitches in the background. You know, you had Golducks walking in the air. You had stuff taking ages to come into frame. Certain screams took ages to load up. I suffered with some of these effects, but I found on the majority of it, most part of it, funny. When I saw a Pokemon floating or doing whatever, or I was on my ride on whatever the fuck, I still can't pronounce my ride on, doing weird shit, and I was glitching in and out. I found it funny. The graphics to me are a non-issue. I couldn't care less if something's not pixelated right over there or not. It's not done right here. Because if Pokemon come out now and said, brand new games, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and it was still the same old Generation 1, red, blue, and yellow graphics where it's you walked into a wall, I would still be happy because the biggest thing that I want from a Pokemon adventure is a Pokemon adventure. I want to be able to start off, I want to be able to get my starter, build a team, and become champion. Maybe that's just me because I'm a basic ass bitch. I don't know whether it's just because I'm still over the moon that it's fucking so many years later and I'm still able to get new Pokemon games and start an adventure and have the fucking time of my life. I don't know if that's anything to do with it, but the graphics jumping in, I couldn't care less. It does not bother me. And also to do with graphics, a lot of people saying as well, I've heard people say that this game was maybe it was rushed out, was chucked out too quickly because, you know, NPCs in the game don't have much to say, or there's no buildings you can go into. Again, we've seen some funny ass memes. I saw somebody put up on Instagram or some shit where they're like, I miss the old days of Pokemon where you could just walk into strangers' houses. That was hilarious. But again, I didn't end this game and go, I wish the NPCs on the streets and I wish the houses I could still go into. I didn't care. I'm not here to talk to, well, like, obviously I am here to talk to people, but the NPCs and going into people's houses, I personally, I couldn't care less. I just want to catch Pokemon, mess around with Pokemon, battle Pokemon, shiny hunt, not dig up the fucking bed. But yeah, when I got to the end of it, I thought, oh, I couldn't go into that person's house. I don't care. Are you set up now, Paul? Can I carry on rambling on? Because I'm sure what I have to say is of most importance to the visuals. So yeah, but if you are one of the people that were affected by the graphics in it, it destroyed your gameplay experience. That's fucking awful. I'm sorry. Hopefully the next time Pokemon come out with whatever game it is. Well, to be fair, there's going to be a DLC coming. That's a guarantee. Or we've got that bit on the top right of the map in the Paldea region. There's a DLC coming. Maybe stuff will get fixed and hopefully you can get all them issues sorted. Because I know a lot of people as well online kicked off. They'll be riding along and all of a sudden a Pokemon will come into frame, whether it be a Diglett or whatever. And they'd be hitting him like, fuck's sake, where did you come from? So yeah, not worried about any of that. We'll talk about the points that did maybe irritate me. Not irritate me, but like, they just made me, the things that make you go, There's potentially, well not potentially, definitely, the Pokédex for me isn't the strongest dex we've ever had. It was a little bit funky. Some Pokemon I really adored, which next week I think we'll have my team I use and we'll talk more into the Pokemon stuff next couple of weeks. Yeah, the dex wasn't great strong. It did take a little bit to get into. I think we had, what was it, a good hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours, depends how quickly I guess you play the game, of sort of babysitting. The whole school aspect, I love the idea of it, but the fact that you had to go in and go through the dorms and, you know, the entrance and go to the cafeteria. I'm not here to go to school. Obviously, the whole point of Pokemon School is to learn about type matchups, moves, status effects and whatnot. We know this by now as Pokemon fans. We get it all. But I liked what they were trying to do, but I'd like to have had less of that. It's another reason why the grade didn't come down ever so slightly. The biggest thing for me, it was not so much it was a bad thing. It was like, are you taking the piss? Like, you go through all the game, you do everything, you know, your gyms, the Team Star stuff, finding the Colossal Giant, whatever the fuck we call them, the entire Pokemon. And then we get to become champion. You beat the champion, but obviously your rivals beat the champion. They just call you sort of the champion rank. Then you go off and do the one-on-one against your rival, and they still just... It felt like I was never truly embraced as champion. I'm thinking, that's the fucking money shot. You know, I'm doing a Pokemon review in it, but you know, in adult entertainment, you go for the money shot. And I'm thinking, okay, where's my Hall of Fame induction and whatever the fuck you'd call it? Where's me with all my Pokemon stood? Like, you know when you started up Pokemon Sword and Shield and you and your team would be stood there at the opening screen, you'd be like, that's my boys. We were champions. We took on Leon. I didn't get this. And I'm thinking, well, I'm fucking champion. I've done everything I need to do to become champion. And all you're doing is calling me champion rank or whatever. No, I'm the fucking champion. And I can't remember her name. Very straight fucking lady. She had one of the worst teams I've ever come up against in champions. Like, I thought, okay, here we go. Champion battle's going to be a little bit difficult. You know, we've had the likes of Leon, who was, you know, had a decent sort of team. We've had what's her name, Cynthia. She was quite tough. And then we got to her, and I'm thinking, okay, go. It's gone dusted. Who else did you have? Fucking Avalon done dusted. I'm thinking, what the fuck's going on here? Are you purposely being shit? Really like, just speaking of Elite Four, it's on my head, the fact that we had the normal type gym leader was also the Elite Four member at the same time, but with a different type. He was in the flying types. I thought that was a really cool aspect because he come up and like, all right, mate, I know you. Because I thought I was fucking right at this point. The Team Star, I didn't mind Team Star. They were cool aspects, and I liked going to their bases. It was a little bit repetitive, I guess, going into the bases, doing the Star Rush battle thing, whatever you call it. It was fun, but then to do it 5 times, okay. And then the story started to build together, and then you have the inkling it's that Penny is the thing, and you're like, oh, is Penny the back? But then when the chair, or the prince, or the president, whatever the fuck he is of the academy, the chairman, I don't fucking know, he comes out and is like, haha, I'm the villain. I was like, I fucking knew it when I did a Pokemon video a few months ago about he looks like a dodgy cunt. It's like, I've got it right. And then it's like, nah, not really. I'm just letting you battle me to make sure you're ready to take on who really is in charge. And it was just Penny with all of her evolutions. I was a bit like, that's a bit underwhelming, because the baddies in this didn't really affect anything too much. Not that they were even necessarily bad. They were just like, man, this is our little bit of land, and I'm electric. Battle me bus. We didn't have an electric one, did we? It was. I'm thinking of fucking the fighting one that looks electric at start. Now, there's a lot of people, shady characters outside of shops that were stood there leaning up against that with their foot in the wall, you know, like a proper bad boy in a film, like, oh, I just had a great sandwich. And I'm thinking, are you a drug dealer? Like, I'm running around with my little Fuecoco with you, and you look like you want to sell me drugs. You're saying sandwich, but I don't think you mean sandwich. This region is based on, like, Spain and I think it's also Portugal and stuff as well. There was a hell of a lot of very muscly, jacked women. Is that the case in Spain and Portugal? A lot of women from there, just these jacked units. I don't know if you noticed it. You'd go around, you'd be like, fuck me, you're massive. You're like Ronda Rousey. You would smash my head in. And there was a hell of a lot of them. So I had fun with all the glitchy stuff. The story coming together with Team Star was nice, but it was a little bit of an underwhelming conclusion, especially when you're like, haha, it's me. It's not really, it's making sure you can. Then it's Penny, and Penny seems to be your pal at the end, and you go to the fucking, you know, Hollow Earth, basically, ground, whatever they call it, Zero, and you go explore, and she's part of your team now. Like, that's all sorted. But even when they do get disciplined, the guy's like, oh, it's fine, don't worry, but you still, you know, you've done this and you've used uniforms incorrectly and truancy and that, you're still being punished, and like, oh no. But I like the togetherness with the team when they all have their flashbacks and they come together at the end, they all stick there as friends. Like, oh, that's sweet. But then I was like, Giovanni would have, like, you know, been putting a hit out on us by now, and you just look like a bunch of little kids that are like, dude. So the level of threat from villains in this game is definitely dropped off. But I still can't help the fact that there's some minor little niggles. I had so much fucking fun. Despite the decks being weak, and whenever I play a new game, I traditionally like to try and just go for new Pokemon so I can experience them, see what they're like, how you know, what I like about them, how they feel, the movesets, how they do in battle, how they link up with how I like to Pokemon battle. So despite the decks being a little bit weak, it was still so amazing to explore the open world. And oh, there's a Halucha, and especially if you got used to the there's a Halucha, especially when you got used to well, not used, you found the hack of jumping backwards on your ride Pokemon, where it's co-ride on and my ride on, and you can get up to higher levels with Pokemon that you shouldn't be able to access yet. I love that the game started and went, right, okay, do your battle, away you go, explore. Yes, we got hit with a massive introduction that felt like it took forever, especially when you're exploring the whole city and whatnot. But when we really got into it, and like, okay, we're going to go here, we're going to explore there, we're going to explore there, I just fell in love with the region and the world of Paldea, whether I was going in the icy mountains or the big massive lake they've got or the desert lands. It just all felt so amazing. And out to the distance, the shiny thing as well, because I got a shiny Spidey-Ups is one of my first Pokemon. I can't remember. It was the bull one, the little Tarantula. And I found that as a shiny, like my fourth encounter. I was like, because I looked at it thinking, who the fuck are you? I've not seen you. Popped up and I was like, oh shit, it's a shiny. Ended up being on my team, but we'll talk about that next week. But the shiny things not popping up, making noise anymore. It was a little bit weird because there's so many Pokemon popping up around you and you're riding about. It's easy to miss without that noise. But now you're really going to have to study and look out and be like, you were shiny, especially with newer ones who you might not be as familiar with. Like, there are a lot of Snoms as well. For whatever reason, I thought so many Snoms in this were shiny and they were just regular. Oh shit, I better bring up, this review's been here, there and everywhere. Fuck it, who cares? The legendary crack was a little bit mental because obviously, usually the game's about building to the legendary, and it's like the baddies or whoever have got some sort of involvement. There's somebody going on to build to the money shot moment with the legendaries. This game starts off, boom, legendary, and you're like, okay. And then there is a little bit of a payoff because obviously you get a second version of you know, the legendary, so you basically get two. But there's no real, you do battle it because Jesus Christ, that, what's his fucking name? Ivory, the guy with the long hair, and oh my God, that broke my heart to find out that his dog Pokemon, I can't remember that's name, well, I probably can't pronounce it yet anyway. It's ill or it's dying, I don't know what, and you have to get sandwiches to get it better. I'm like, oh my God, please make sure this dog's alright. Then it turns out his mother died. And inside of where she was working, just a fucking AI that goes mental and tries to kill you. And she's like, fucking legendaries, I got these Pokemon from the past because I played Scarlet. Fucking absolutely have it. And you're like, what is going on? She's fucking glitching out and freaking out. You're like, what the fuck? Do you want your ball? Do you want your ball? Don't you knock my Funkos with your tail. You always look at the ball with so much more love than me. Even though that bit was what the fuck, it was still very enjoyable. I was just like, this is chaotic. Terrestrializing. How do we feel about terrestrializing? I understand the elements that it could have in going forward with competitive battles, people that get a little bit more nitty gritty into the actual competitive side of the battles. You know, tweaking it here and there, changing your pure fire, you know, fire ghosts if you went with Fuecoco, when he evolved, and having just pure fire but use the gut. I get all that, but when the gym leaders did it, I thought, this is so pointless, right? I'm coming here to fight a bug type gym leader. Oh, you're going to chuck out a fucking Teddy Ursa. I still know you're going to change it to bug type. I'll still use my flying moves, my flying moves. It doesn't matter. I feel like at some points, it's one of the most pointless ways to elevate the battles. I like that they're still trying to elevate battles and add new dynamics and stuff. But, you know, Mega Evolution, Z moves, Dynamax, Gigantamax. Awesome. Carry on trying to evolve it. But terrestrializing isn't really one for me. I'm not going to go out there to try and find too many different, you know, Pokemon with different Terra types. It looked okay, I guess. I can't wait to see the TCG cards. I think they'll look fantastic. But for me, it was a bit of a pointless element to add. The battles in this game aren't necessarily too hard. As long as your Pokemon are all leveling up nicely and whatnot, and you take a good route of finishing the game, because obviously you can sort of do it in whatever order you want, but there's levels the higher up you go, like your level 50s up at the north sort of area, and you've got your 30s and your 20s and whatnot. The battles aren't necessarily hard. I barely ever terrestrialized, whatever the fuck we're calling it. Yeah, it just seemed pointless, and sometimes it just looked a little bit shit. Like, who was that one that sent out the Tyranitar and it had the ghost thing, and you're just like, you just look like a twat right now. Like I said, the cards will be pretty. But yeah, the story still, I absolutely adored the story, the way that it flowed out, learning about different sort of Pokemon in the Paldea region, your different tasks from the whole treasure hunt, going out the treasure hunt. I love that. The gym badges alongside of the colossal giant Pokemon, as well as the Team Star stuff. I think it's 18 tasks in total, is that right? Well, there's 18 battles at least. No, there's 18 tasks. I can't fucking remember. Just going out and exploring this world and catching Pokemon, as you know, the core function of this game is just to catch Pokemon. It was so much fun. I'd sit back, relax, I'd have coffee, a bit of snacks and Pringles, and I'd put my feet up and I'd just go around. The music, oh my god, that absolutely beautiful tune. Tune here. This, I absolutely adored this bit. Is it this bit? No, this bit. Da, 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 da. I literally found myself at certain points playing Longspin like da, 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 having the time of my absolute life, because I just love Pokemon. I just listen to it. Da, 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 da. It just made me feel happy here, which is the whole point of Pokemon games. I completely understand we want them as perfect as possible, whether that be great gameplay stuff or storytelling, however it may be. But ultimately, as long as I get the copy of the game, the console I can play it on, and an objective of getting my starter, becoming champion, and trying to catch Pokemon, I'm fucking happy. And you're blasting songs like that, and I'm just like, because I'm going to be honest, I got very emotional when the game finished. That Ed Sheeran song played, and I'm like I just welled up a little bit. I was like this is life right now for me. I don't have much, you know. I don't want fucking fancy shit for the rest of my life. I just want to play Pokemon and read comic books. And I was sat there because I took 4 days off work, just like beautiful. That's obviously another huge part of why I'm probably being so optimistic with this, because even though there was some negatives, including the decks, I can't be too annoyed because I'm playing Pokemon. It's a simple way to look at it. You know, I always go back to football. There's people that love football, but they can only watch certain levels. The football has to be entertaining. It has to be amazing. You know, they can't go from Premier League to League 2. Whereas I just want to watch football, and obviously mostly these boys. Entertainment football's a bonus. You know, graphics is a bonus, all to me. But as long as I'm doing the core function, and because it's something I'm so passionate and in love with, I'm happy. Yes, I absolutely adored the game. I fucking loved it. There were some Pokemon I did fall in love with, as well as another negative. Even though I'm being like, amazing, I've said probably more negatives, haven't I? I think this is probably one of the weakest, maybe the weakest starter trio we've ever had. Again, I'll get into that when we talk, my team and whatnot down the line. But yeah. Story was great. It was fine. It was beautiful. The music was beautiful. The characters were done. It really got me in the feel sometimes. Like I said, with that Avery guy or whatever. The twist at the end, with the mother's a robot and all this kind of shit. The professor, you're like, what the fuck? Sandwiches, don't give a shit about them. I haven't still to this day haven't made a single sandwich. The legendaries are pretty cool. I do like the legendaries. I like the idea of the past Pokemon stuff, but the future, like robotic versions, I'm thinking, wait, so from that point, are all Pokemon now robots? That's a little bit creepy to me, because what happened to the biological, organic ones? Do we make them go extinct in the future, or what's going on? Rival was okay. I mean, she was very like, come on, let's keep battling. She loved to battle. I get it, you love to battle. I beat you, but no one's still saying, there's just the true champion. No one said it once. I am. Adventure you get to go on. I always associate the word adventure with Pokemon because that's what it is. It's the ultimate adventure. And I really did have an adventure inside of this game. So, yeah, solid, massive 9 out of 10. I can't be completely like, Pokemon, because I have nitpicked a little bit. So I can't end it and say, 10 out of 10. People would argue as well that, Dan, you've said a lot of negatives. You shouldn't really give it 9. But I ended with the way I ended. And I felt it there. So whatever it is, when you feel it there, I got that throughout most of the game, and especially at the end, so it's getting a 9 out of 10. Visuals, there we go. That was my probably extremely long, ranty, ramble-on, shut the fuck up, Dan review of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. There are still things for me to explore, still things for me to see and unlock, and I just can't wait to finish this video, sit back, watch J Rose, and get back into the game. But visuals, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. Let's all be lovely and happy together, because if you completely disagree with everything I said, you're not wrong. It's your personal experience and your Pokemon adventure. So visuals, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. More keep being you and keep out, keeping out.